3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Well, we had a pay-per-view this past weekend. Do we want to start at the end and work through it, or we want to build our way up to
Gotta build up to it?
Got to build up to the big finish. All right, AEW Revolution. Okay, we'll start on the buy-in. Did anybody watch the buy-in?
Yes.
Dr. Britt Baker and Maki Ito defeating Riho and Thunder Rosa. I mean,
it's fine.
Yeah, it was fine. Nothing special there, but it was fine.
Foreshadowing. Because the team somehow the dentist and the Japanese fallen idol are matching. They had never teamed before in their lives, and they were matching.
Total coincidence.
Ooh.
Main card starts. Young Bucks defeating the Inner Circle tag team match to retain the AEW World Tag Team title. 17 minutes and 50 seconds. This is one of my higher graded matches of the night.
Actually, let's talk about your grading. I think this might be the fairest assessment of your grading in the history of grades.
I don't know. I was actually, if you would go back in the archives and listen to my review of Elimination Chamber, I did crap pretty hard all over that show, because it was bad.
My thought process is Jim goes into a WWE pay-per-view and it's already at like a B+. And we just kind of see where we go from there.
Can
we
it
go
work?
into AEW at like a C-. we can see where we go.
I mean, I can't say that you're wrong. I won't confirm that you're right, but I can't say that you're wrong. If that
It's definitely a grading curve for Jim.
Sure. Yeah, we'll call it that. I mean, the pre-show match got a C+. There was nothing necessarily bad about it. That there wasn't necessarily anything great about it. This match here got a B-. It wasn't a bad match to start the card. There was definitely some moments that didn't look great. There was some botches on all fronts. But it wasn't a terrible match by any stretch of the imagination.
My problem up for the night, and it was a theme, is I feel like every match went about 5 to 7 minutes too long.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like it felt like an indie show where like guys go out there and they do their stuff and they get it all in.
We've called some of those shows.
And it's not to say that like the match is bad.
No.
But some dudes go out there and like they put out like they have like a 13-minute match, and you're in your head, you're like, that would have been a real hot 9-minute match.
Right. Like they go out there knowing
you found 4 minutes of shit to do.
they go out there, they're like, all right, we got 9, but I know the guy's not going to come out and just stop me. So I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Well, and when a third of your matches have guys in charge in them anyway, you kind of have a little bit of reign to.
How long did that match even go?
1750. This one was 1750,
and that should have been like a 14-minute match, man.
Yeah,
should have. Like,
yeah, if that match doesn't scrape double digits, it's probably a pretty good match.
Oh, it'd be infinitely better. And Jericho wouldn't have gotten blowed up like he was.
Well, I don't know about that.
Or as bad as he did. I'll put it that way.
I mean, Jericho's on the wrong side of 50, so certainly he's getting blown up pretty quick in his match.
Shut your ass.
Is he 50?
I think he's like
exactly
52, isn't he?
He's exactly 50.
He's exactly. When's his birthday?
November 9.
Okay, so he just turned 50. I would have guessed he would be closing in on 51.
Closing in on 501. Not there yet.
Mark, you now you had this in Spanish commentary, which at times was much better than the English commentary that we had. But what'd you think of this match?
Si, senor. You know, I gotta agree with Tim. I felt these matches went a little long. I completely agree with your assessment, Tim. Overall, it wasn't bad, but I'm starting, unfortunately, to get used to being disappointed with AEW pay-per-views after the last few. So I kind of go in with low expectations anymore. But
Yeah.
this match was okay.
Yeah, we will. We'll obviously get to our grades and this and that. Yeah, Lou, we'll obviously get to that ending in a little bit. Second match, Rey Fenix won, representing Death Triangle, won the Casino Tag Team Royale, 26 minutes 45 second last, eliminating Jungle Boy from the Jurassic Express. Yeah, I mean, again, long.
The timer between teams coming out was 90 seconds. If you cut that to a minute, that's 7 minutes you're saving.
Right.
In
also, did it have to be like 16 teams? Like because you have to get.
I mean, if I love this match. Watching this match made me realize how much of a sucker I am for battle royals. Like, you could literally put a battle royal on every wrestling show I watch.
Oh, I mean, AEW puts a battle royal on every show. So.
I mean, they will. Inevitably, they will. But, like, you literally could put a battle. Hey, independent wrestling bookers. Once, like, the pandemic stuff's gone away,
careful,
and there's not a limitation on the number of people that can be close to each other safely, how about everybody book a battle royale and I'll buy a ticket?
Why am I coming?
I'll come. That's why. That's why. Battle royals, man.
I love battle royals. I love the Royal Rumble. There was points in this match though, and I don't know if it's the way it was produced, the way commentary was lost, or what, but there was a lot of points where I was confused as to who was in or why they were in or who was, like, it got confusing. Now, the end, once you got down to like the last 6, the last 7, especially the final 2, 3 it was really good finish to it.
So I just have a question.
Yes.
Do you remember who the final 4 were?
Well, it was both was it both guys of the Death Triangle? It was Jungle Boy, and it was, I probably can't remember, but that was all the way back to Sunday. So you're asking me to reach back real hard on this one.
But you can remember who the final 4 of the Royal Rumble was, right? No.
It was Edge. It was Etch.
3.
It was Etch. It was
Etch.
Christian.
Randy
Orton.
Yeah,
because he popped back in at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was either Seth or Sheamus, I thought.
I think it was Seth. It was Seth, Edge, Christian, Etch, and then Orton, technically.
Now I'm curious as to who the hell was the last guy in the battle royale.
I mean, let's talk about something because it's been mentioned here the last
Johnny Hungy.
That's it.
Last couple times. For me, commentary took a full letter grade off of this show.
I think Jim Ross was legitimately sick.
I agree, he was, and he probably should have bowed out for that because he didn't do himself any favors.
No.
But I mean, their reactions, their calling of the matches, and I'm sure we'll talk about the way they sold the 2
Come on,
days.
eat, goddammit.
But it was just, to me, commentary detracted heavily from the overall product on that show.
AEW. Now, okay, elephant in the room. What did you get from Rita's, Tim?
I believe
That's a gelati.
it is a gelati.
definitely
But I have to see what flavor ice it is.
Mango.
Swedish fish.
It is a root beer gelati.
Ah, so it's like a root beer float, like that.
Yes.
Like that.
So good.
Yeah, I might have to make a Rita's run this weekend because I love me some Ritas. But yeah, commentary on AEW is one of my biggest issues with them in general. Like, I understand the WWE commentary ain't great because it's overproduced. AEW's commentary seems like it's not produced at all. Therein lies some of the problem because I feel like you have 3 color guys or 3 play-by-play guys constantly stepping over on each other's feet. Plus, you have a roaming group of like number 4 through 7 extra guys on the table at any given time, and it's very convoluted. Like Excalibur, I actually do really enjoy more than I did when AEW first started, but it's I feel like everybody's constantly stepping on each other, and it's not. And I do, and I'm not, I don't want to be overcritical because there are points, and we've been there because we've all called stuff that, like, if I'm play by play and you guys are doing color, there's gonna come points in the night where you're talking and something happens and you're just gonna call it, and like that's fine. But with AEW, it feels like everybody's just constantly talking and just it's bad. I don't like it.
They also have a ton of commentators.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, so it's Jim Ross, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, Taz,
Mm-hmm.
Paul White,
Mm-hmm.
and then like wrestlers who do commentary. Oh, Don Callis.
Right.
That's 6. Eddie Kingston has been on multiple times. -1 has been on.
Right. He does a lot of on Dark, right?
On Dark. I'm trying to think of who else does like guest spots on commentary.
Omega
often.
has, Jericho
Kenny
has.
Jericho.
Jericho's on
Jericho,
a
you can-
lot, and apparently
Jericho,
he's
you
going to
can,
be
like, pencil
on
in.
the Dark Elevation on the regular.
Yeah, like
And like I don't mind having, because WWE goes to that well more than they should too. Like, this isn't just an AEW problem, but AEW goes to it real heavy. Real heavy. Like, it's okay to have, an extra person on commentary over here or there, like especially if, Moxley's facing Pac and, Omega is wrestling Moxley soon. So Omega's scouting Moxley and he's on commentary. But like there's so many times where I feel like Omega just will come out and put a headset on. He's like, I just felt like coming out and sit and talk on commentary.
Yeah.
Why? You already have 3 guys out here. Like, why are we adding a 4th? And I love JR. JR is part of probably my second favorite commentary team ever. It's like, especially because of the era, like during the Attitude Era, like him and the King were fantastic. But like, and I get it. He's had hard times with the Bell's palsy. He's over the last couple of years had a hard time like with his wife passing away. Like JR, he's not on commentary as sharp as he always was.
No.
And it's not an insult to him. It's a reality. Like, I think when he does like the interview segments, like when he was like interviewing FTR when they first came in, and things like that. I think he is fantastic in that role. I think he should be off the commentary table, but I think it's one of those things where nobody wants to make that call for him.
Right. I mean, it's got to be a respect thing. He certainly earned it, but I mean, it's got to be one of those things like JR, I feel like has enough pride where he's probably going to come to the realization soon, like, hey, this isn't for me anymore. I think we're past that point, but I just don't think he's there yet. But I think it's coming relatively soon. But I mean, I've never really noticed the commentary until this past pay-per-view where it just stood out to me as like, this is just bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was, the match itself was just kind of a cluster, which is come to be expected with a battle royal, but you have to be quick and calling that action. And there were just times where I felt it was lulling, and they just were not putting people over. It was just kind of like scissor kick. Oh,
yeah.
Justin's eliminated. Oh, what's Allie doing interfering in this? It's like guys, get hype or something. Like, I know JR's sick, so I'll give him a pass, but if that's the case, the other two have to carry more weight, and they just didn't.
Well, and that's another situation too, where I mean, especially we're in a fucking global pandemic, like where everybody's told like, if you're sick, stay home. And like you have JR just like starting off commentary sounding like he gargled gravel. So maybe just pull him off the table that night. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, even like obviously we'll talk about like when Ethan Page debuted, it was like, let me see Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Wow, way to bring the guy in on his first night, guys.
And I mean, that was someone we were all kind of looking forward to as like a big debut for AEW, and it was just, the fanfare was just dead from all of them. It's just like, oh, and here's Ethan Page.
Right. And like here's the deal. Again, I will 100% agree that WWE's commentary is way too overproduced. Like, they are told what to say literally to a fault, because there's points where it's just like, I feel like you have like a big moment in a match and they're like, remember to subscribe to the WWE Network on Peacock. We're switching over in the middle of March. And it's like, don't you want to like talk about that big thing that literally just happened? Like, Randy Orton just lit a guy on fire. Like, I think we know how to subscribe to an app on our phone. Like, I get that.
Do you remember for like a solid 2 weeks, Jimmy the King or Jerry the King just ate Sonic fast food during matches?
This match brought to you by Sonic. There it is. Oh, sorry, choked on a fry. Like, and of course, they always have like the Mountain Dew energy drink sitting right there and stuff like that. So like, I get it. And when sponsors pay you money, that's the sort of thing you have to do. Yeah. But you can tell there's definitely points where AEW is not produced. So you have to find that middle ground. Like, WWE has to dial it down. AEW has to turn it up. Like, there has to be somebody back there. And here's the thing. I don't know how the backstage works. Because if it's only Tony Khan sitting at that table, I don't know if he's that guy. And that's not just to shit on Tony Khan. Vince McMahon knows how he wants his show to look and feel and be. I don't know if Tony's capable of doing that at this point. So, like, because there's points where commentary, and I get, like, if you're just trying to play up an angle of I don't know what's going on, that's one thing. But when I hear, like, Shivani and JR and Excalibur all say, I have no idea what's happening right now, I literally think they're being honest. I think they have no clue what is happening. And there's times where, and I get where we're super keyed into stuff like that because we've called shows. There's points where you can tell that they're watching what's happening in front of them, not what's happening on a monitor. Because there's times where they're calling stuff that I don't see. I don't know if regular fans even totally key in on that, but I do.
For the sake of catching up, what match are we on?
We're still at the Battle Royal. We've been
geez.
ruminating about
Went
commentary
on a tangent about
the whole time.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I mean, I gave the Battle Royal a B minus. Like, I mean, I enjoy Battle Royals. They're fun. The ending was great. I did not think that Death Triangle was winning. So, you know, that genuinely surprised me, but in a good way. So, you know, it'll be a theme for later, but sometimes the finish can save or hinder what happens prior to it. So the finish here was good. I enjoyed that one. Then we what's that?
B minus.
Then we move to the women's title. Hikaru Shida defeats Ryu Mizunami for the AEW women's title. 15 minutes and 10 seconds. I'll be 100% on. This match did zero for me. I wasn't like invested in this match at all. I'm not a Japanese wrestling fan, so I'm not discrediting the two women for having a great physical match. But for me, this is a nothing burger. I was bored out of my skull watching this match. And that's me. That's my preference to a style.
I think that might also just be like your lack of interest in the champion and challenger. Like this match really didn't have any heat coming into it.
Yeah.
Like it's the tournament final with somebody who we've never heard of. And I feel like while she is crammed down our throats, it may have been more palpable if it were Nyla Rose in that spot. But it is what it is. We got what we got. And foreshadowing.
Like I gave the match a B minus. And like the reason I gave it a B minus is because watching
Time out.
Wait.
Time out. So this match that was a nothing burger for you got the same grade as the previous match that you enjoyed.
Because I'm watching the match and I can see that it is a good wrestling match.
Okay.
Like, but it doesn't connect with me. So like I don't want to completely throw away what the women did just because the style of the match isn't for me.
Tim, I think your hope of getting clarification on Jim's grading is just helpful.
Yeah, I don't get it. Because I easily thought this was the worst match on the card. Easily.
I didn't
Not me.
care for it either. I understood what they were doing. I think it meant more to the people in the match than the people watching the match, which, you know, happens sometimes.
And that's another thing too with like Japanese wrestling, and especially Japanese women's wrestling. Like there are pieces at play where like if a Joshi is in America and they're wrestling, like for example, we have not seen Aja Kong get pinned or anything at all. It's been countouts. It's been somebody else takes the fall. Because that you want to talk about how like we protect our stars. It's a whole different ball game in Japan. It is you're serving many masters over there.
Mark, any thoughts on this one?
Oh man, I'll tell you, I'm right there with you guys too. I'm just not interested in it. I don't dislike the Japanese women's wrestling, but just zero interest. Just could have done without it. It felt almost forced, but hey, it is what it is. It was a good time to go take a bathroom break and get a snack. I'll tell you what.
See, I actually thought the next two matches were a great time to take a bathroom break.
What did we think of the new stable, apparently?
From,
Britt Baker, Maki Ito, Vicky Guerrero, and Nyla Rose.
Sure. I mean, I don't have any investment in Maki Ito at this point because I don't know anything about her. I was confused as hell why she was singing when she came out for the pre-show match. You know,
That's easily explainable in like a Google search.
but also I feel like, and we saw it last night on Dynamite, everybody gets a manager, everybody gets a faction. It just like I just feel we're just faction heavy, manager heavy. Can anybody stand on their own in that company?
It's Japan. That's the Japanese influence in AEW.
Okay.
Because like in Japan, there's like Suzuki-gun, and there's like the Ingobernables de Japón, and there's Bullet Club, and there's like Chaos. There's all of these groups, but they're not necessarily stables. It's kind of like fight teams in MMA. You got like American Top Team, and you got stuff like that. That's how it is with like in Japan. Like you've got Suzuki-gun, so everybody's together, and that's why you have a lot of like 8-man tags in New Japan, because all of them are in the same
and
group.
AEW.
They're in the same group. AEW is kind of flexing that way too, especially with now the new super group there's 2 super groups now, and that broke up exactly how I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, that was
which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it going that way. But yeah, okay. So that kind of makes sense then. That kind of makes sense. I'll see where it goes from here. But then we go to tag team match. Shortest match of the night, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Miro and Kip Sabian defeat the Best Friends. I loved the pre-match, like they jump him. Miro just looks like a badass, and then like 2 minutes into the 7-minute match, I felt like a lot of that was undone. I thought Miro just looked goofy, and like I thought this could have been a moment where Miro could just clean house and win in like literally like 2 minutes and look like a badass. And again, I think he just comes across goofy and silly, and it's not what I need from a Bulgarian monster. This match stank out loud for me. I actually gave this a C-. Didn't like it at all.
And I thought that this was exactly what I needed to see out of Miro.
Oof.
Like, he is aggressive. He is showing signs that he doesn't care about Kip. He is usually, you can see from this match that like this partnership with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford was a way for him to get in the door via storyline, besides getting, he's a WWF guy.
Right.
But like super aggressive, super ferocious. I thought this is exactly what we need from Miro. Better than the B women's match.
I understand that logic, and I'm fine with that. For me, just Miro in a tag team doesn't do it for me. I think that's why this match didn't do it for me. Like Rusev, Miro, to me, is always going to be a singles wrestler. So I like, that direction if that's where we're going.
Yeah, because
that's fine with the buildup, but just to see him continue in tag team, it's just, that's not what I want to see out of him. So once he gets out, I think I'll enjoy what he does a lot more. It's just for now, I can't really get into it.
I think that's where I'll be.
Yeah, because you can absolutely see in this match, like Rusev was like demanding the tags, like tag me, like me, like my time.
Yeah.
And Kip was barely in the match.
Which is fine, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to suck that like they're going to make Kip Sabian the babyface out of this deal. But
But if it leads to a match where we just see Miro squash Kip, then I'm on board with that as well.
Sign me up.
You'd think, right?
You would hope. Mark, your thoughts on this one?
He's a heel. No, same thing, man. I just really didn't care for it. Didn't enjoy it. I had higher hopes for Rusev in AEW, but hopefully that's going to change here. So we'll see. But overall, yeah, it just kind of added to a disappointing pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Next one, 14 minutes, 40 seconds, the big money match. Hangman Adam Page defeats Big Money Matt Hardy. This one also got a C-. God, Matt Hardy's bad. He's not good. Like, thank God Adam Page won, but like, Matt Hardy was sloppy. Matt Hardy was slow. Like, again, I literally wrote down, thank God Adam Page won. He deserves better. Matt Hardy sucks. That's exactly what I wrote as my notes for this match.
You want to talk about nothing burgers? That's this. Matt Hardy is a nothing.
This was tied for my lowest match of the night.
God bless Adam Page.
Amen.
He tried his best.
Matt Hardy's debut in AEW, I think, was cool, but ever since then, it's been just not even a slow. It's just, I think it was a fast crash to the bottom, and it's just like he does absolutely nothing for me. I mean, to be fair, I still don't watch the final deletion thing, but like the Matt Hardy return to WWE beyond that initial return with the tag team at Mania, I think had a fast crash and burn for me as well. Which is unfortunate because I think Matt Hardy, quite the opposite of what we were just talking about. Rusev, a fantastic tag team wrestler, but he's just never done it for me in singles. And this match was just further evidence of that. If I never see Matt Hardy wrestle a singles match again, I don't think I'll be too upset.
Yeah, Mark.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Once again, this match really didn't care. The stipulations that were silly. Same thing with Matt Hardy's debut. Everything was exciting and wonderful, but there's probably a place for Matt Hardy in AEW, but I don't know that being an active wrestler in the ring is that. Maybe
Adam the commentary.
Yeah, you might as well at this point. You might as well.
Jim, can you hit me with the Price is Wrong for Matt Hardy's singles career in AEW?
Where is it? We looking for this guy?
Yeah,
there we go. I was thinking the Price is Wrong bitch from Epic Kill, which actually I should probably have on the board.
Pretty solid one.
But yeah, I don't need him especially not in a big money match, which again, nine matches and all but 2 of them had a gimmick, I think. Then we move to the face of the
follow up to that. Like, do we see Matt Hardy like sign over a check or something, or is it just we're just in good faith?
I think we just trust that Matt Hardy.
It was an electronic funds transfer.
We didn't get a screenshot of Paige's Venmo account, but
AEW likes Venmoing.
AEW loves casino stuff, so like Adam Page just took all of Matt's chips and cashed
it. Didn't Page, wasn't he riding something that Matt Hardy owned or something on Dynamite? I forget exactly what he was doing. He
maybe.
was out by
I think he was working on was it a lawnmower?
something like that. I think he may have had like some kind of a zero turn tractor or something he had that was Hardy's.
Something. Then we go to the face of the Cody Revolution ladder match. Scorpio Sky winning 23 minutes and 15 seconds. This one I got a B. I mean, it was a fun match. There was more. It was more like kind of technical things that kind of bothered me in this one. Lance Archer just crouching in between the ladder, waiting to get his fucking back destroyed, and the whole match just watching Cody and Arn Anderson and 40 doctors standing in the tunnel. Like, come on, man. Like, just move. Like, pretend like you're not there. Because the whole, like, I'm trying not to watch Cody coming back in the match. Like, I know he's coming back in the match, but don't tell me he's coming back the whole time.
Isn't it miraculous how much Cody can make things about Cody?
Mm.
Like, they do the injury angle, but then for the next like 7 minutes, him and his gang of goons are at the top of the ramp, and they're continually cutting to like a wide hard cam shot
Right.
that shows them deliberating whether or not he's going to come back. Like, anyone who's ever watched wrestling knows Cody's coming back into the match,
Mhm.
and he's probably going to win. Because
I fully expected him to win.
Usually the dude who comes back is like he's involved in the finish.
Yeah. Which he was, right? Like,
Scorpio Sky face palmed Cody off the top of the ladder.
yeah. So, but like, I expected it to go the other way. And I'm happy it didn't. But man, yeah, I mean, Scorpio Sky took a couple of ladder bumps that I'm shocked that he was still walking, more or less winning the match. Props to that dude. Again, fun match, but yeah, it was technical things that marked it down a little for me.
How old do y'all think Scorpio Sky is?
Well, I know he's older than he's like 43.
No,
38.
I said 29.
he's 37.
Okay.
I mean,
He's been wrestling forever.
I do like that this time they didn't just give the golden ring to the debuting star. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's them growing.
Can we talk about how they like ran onto the set of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and stole that ring?
I all I could think about is it was like a pool, like just a pool floater tube.
So was it like a giant Cheerio that was just hanging above the ring? And
They got it from the warehouse. Conrad Thompson sent it to him.
What's the protein cereal that they plug all the time?
Oh,
Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon. It's a Magic Spoon box.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was it was definitely over the top, but
that was bad.
I thought that this, beyond the final or the main event minus the end of the main event, was the match of the night. In my opinion, I thought there were good spots. I like Scorpio Sky getting the win there. I did like seeing Ethan Page debut despite the lack of fanfare from the commentary team, which we talked about earlier. So I think all in all, it was just an overall good match for me. Just there were some spots where it was just, come on.
And shout outs to Max Caster. Like, he looked like he belonged in this match.
He did.
He really stood out. It was a breakout performance for him. So
yeah, definitely agree. Mark.
For me, this was one of the highlights of the pay-per-view. I struggled with that full float ring being there. I don't know if they come up with something better or don't use a gold ring. I don't know, but that was kind of, for me, that was tough to get around seeing Scorpio Sky holding this spray painted cool floaty, but
Like Lee says, is a
Overall,
hemorrhoid donut.
that's. I think must have got that from Vader. Rest his soul.
You don't need it no more.
Oh, too soon? Too soon?
That's
No.
too soon.
No.
Oh, man.
No.
You guys, do you remember when at LCW or KPW, whatever it was at the time, when that after party we were there with Vader? Did you guys come out, or was that just myself and Smokey?
Oh no, I was out for that at your place,
was
right?
The brasserie?
I thought that
Yeah,
I thought that one was at your place.
Yeah, it was at your place. Yeah, it wasn't the brasserie. But poor Vader was there, 1 o'clock in the morning, or whatever it was, eating this gigantic burger, sitting on this little donut ring kind of thing on the chair. It was just unusual. Yeah, 400+ pound former multi-time world champion.
Yeah, those are tiny ass chairs at that place. I didn't feel comfortable on them. I know that much.
That was,
The street fight, Darby Allin and Sting defeat Team Taz. I liked it. As far as cinematic matches go, wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, but God, the commentary over this. Why is Taz yelling at like Ricky Starks to do things? Like, you're not there. First off, you're their manager. If you wanted to be involved and help them, be there. But why? Why commentary? Like, I don't need JR calling suplexes when like Darby Allin, when it's an episode of Jackass in black and white in a warehouse. Like, I don't need to hear suplex called in that moment.
It was weird hearing Taz talk about it in the past tense at the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then immediately change tense.
Like, oh yeah, it's real. It's happening now.
It's like, we were real worried about this match. And then, yeah, but now we're here at the thing. We're at a random warehouse that has a wrestling ring in it, and it's lit. And I apparently need to see the movie of how Sting and Darby get to the warehouse, because holy shit, that was half the time of the match.
Yeah. Sure was. I mean,
the only way that could have been any worse is if there was a giant advertisement for like the Chevrolet Colorado just right across the screen or something. Like it just
like a rock.
Now, what was cool is Darby, the dude who sings Darby Allin's theme, was in the trailer.
Was in the parade of Darbies?
No, he was in there's a scene with like a television screen.
Okay.
And a guy painted like Darby Sting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's him. I think his name is like Wiccan Phase or something like that.
Okay. I did like that they matched their face paints as well. Sting and Darby.
Sting is like the stepdad who is trying to find any way to
connect with his son.
Wife's son. You like skateboards?
You like skateboards and painting your face like a skull? I'm in, kid.
Me too. How you feel about baseball?
I do wish Darby would have gotten the fall though in the match. Like, and I get it. It's like Sting's welcome back and whatever, and he didn't get a win in WWE.
Be careful what word you use there, Jim, because Darby did get the fall.
Oh, well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, it was fine. Matt and Mark, your thoughts on this one?
I didn't care for this one at all. Taz just took away from it for me. I was like, am I watching an episode of The Sopranos? Like, what is this? And I just could not get into the action because of his screaming over the top of it the whole time. And so, I mean, I'm sure if I go back and rewatch on mute, I might appreciate it a little more. But
and
it was just
the flying camera,
Spanish.
The flying camera across the entire warehouse was kind of weird.
Yeah.
How yoked Hook is.
Yeah.
Like Hook is like 12. And he is just
Right. What are you feeding him, Taz?
raw meat.
So, Mark, listening in Spanish, did they still give Taz an Italian accent as he's speaking Spanish?
Boy, you know, I've always wanted to come in here. And now that I got a mustache, the timing feels right.
Wow, all this stuff looks pretty good. Can we get some salami and...
Brian, let me handle this. Scusi, babidi-boopy?
Che cosa? Peter, what are you doing?
Speaking Italian. Babidi-boopy? Babidi-boopity-babidi-babidi.
Peter, you can't speak Italian just because you have a mustache.
Boopity-bapa. Boop-a-beep-boop-a-bapa-beep-a-bapa.
Tu sei un pazzo, va via da qui!
Boop-beep-a-bapa.
Sono stanco di te, ti do un pugno nella testa! Ti uccido con questa carne!
That was literally Taz's commentary through that whole match.
Yeah. Yep. The and the Spanish one, there was a female at one point that was doing commentary. So I can't remember what match that was. Maybe that was Taz. They may have had a female. But boy, once again I had low expectations for this match, and I wish I would have set them a little lower. So I wouldn't have been as disappointed. But here we are. It just, you knew it wasn't going to be real good going into it, but it was. They had Sting in it, so there we go.
There we go. And then finally, we go to the exploding barbed wire death match. 25 minutes, 15 seconds. Kenny Omega defeating Jon Moxley. I mean, here's the deal. I'm not a death match guy. This match didn't have my interest to begin with. I didn't turn off the pay-per-view. I stuck with it. The visual effect of like the rope pyro was all right. It was pretty cool. The things on the floor, I don't think
Triple hell.
Yeah, I don't think they went off as well. But the bottom line here is that fucking ending. Holy shit. Like,
it was a mixture of both the greatest thing I had ever seen in my entire life and then what in the hell am I watching?
Snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
In like direct succession. Like everything with Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. He comes out. He's got the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. They try to pull him away. He shoves them off and goes to like
sacrifices himself for his friend.
Now, why Eddie Kingston had to die for the sins of mankind to like really weak Brock Lesnar pyro and 2 puffs of smoke, I will never know.
Yeah, like I mean, you know, when you had like the handcuffs and the Good Brothers and Moxley's dead in the ring and all of this, and it's like, you know, the siren may have been a little bit overkill, but I get it. You're trying to alert people because like, and I'm sitting there going, nobody around the ring has like Bryce is in fantastic garb for this matchup, by the way, but like you can see the camera guys, they're literally in like regular clothes. The workers around the ring in like regular clothes. I'm like, so if this thing just like goes off, like they're dead, right? Because like Bryce is okay because Bryce is geared up, but these people are all going to die. But then of course he did the sirens. Everybody got warned, get the hell out of here. But yeah, like
I mean, Bryce looked like he was about to cook up a batch of like blue sky.
I thought that was a beekeeper suit again.
But man, and we'll talk about the response too. But Matt and Mark, your thoughts on the match? And
I actually enjoyed the match. I mean, I am a fan of deathmatch wrestling, so I thought they hit the spots pretty well. They did a lot more than I think the average like wrestling fan is used to seeing. If you don't watch death matches often, like I think they gave enough of a shock factor. They're not going to go like full death match. So I think that they did enough with that. Like the exploding bat, I thought was a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought everything, like Tim said, the whole Kingston storyline was fantastic to me.
Yeah.
But then, man, just it's that end. It was, and I understand what they were trying to do, but like they had to know that if you're going to sell it like they did, you have to at least go the next tier up with your snakes and sparklers. Like, give me one M80.
Well, like
or something. Give
Husker
me a
do's,
bang.
Husker don'ts, like one screaming whistle chaser, something. Like,
Yeah.
and here's the thing, and like I at least have the corners blow out. Like,
Yeah.
do the gimmick like the WWE did with the big men superplexes. Just have the corners blow out.
The thing is, they may not have the technology for that.
They probably don't, but figure it out,
Yeah.
man. If you're going to give us exploding, if you're telling me the ring's going to explode and at the end of the night, the ring is still standing as it was the whole night, you failed.
Yeah.
You failed.
Like, you know what they could have? Well, so there's two different trains of thought here. One, you have to think that they did a test run of this and got it on film and was like, this is going to work. And then come showtime, either it was too windy or it was too cold because it was 11:30 at night. And when they tested it, it was in the heat of the day, and heat rises.
Mm.
So like all that smoke just right into the sky. But even then, like, you could have killed the feed.
Yeah.
You could have done boom, lights go out.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing.
Everything
If
goes
if
out.
that smoke lingers and your last image of this pay-per-view is just smoke, that's good. When your last image is Eddie Kingston laying lifeless over a lifeless Moxley when nothing happened, not great. Mark, your thoughts on this one?
The match itself, I thought wasn't bad. But boy, you just can't get past that ending. How anticlimactic and just terrible it really was. It was so bad. I know they're trying to spin it off now as as a joke or whatever. But boy, it was just so bad. It was extremely disappointing. It just kind of summed up the whole pay-per-view, in my opinion. It was really, it really was, honestly.
Expectation, reality. Expectation, reality.
Yeah,
let's talk about like the reaction and then like how they sold it last night, and then we'll go to break and as we close up on Revolution. But like the post game press conference thing is kind of cool until like you kind of don't let anybody know like what you're going to say or whatever, and you don't produce it at all. Because like Tony's there trying to like give this explanation like, well, I guess Kenny didn't rig it as much as we thought, or this happened or what have you. And then like you have Moxley and Kingston talking to the crowd who's booing the shit out of the end of your pay-per-view, saying like, this is fucking embarrassing. Like, this sucked, basically. Like, they're shitting all over it. Tony's trying to make sense of it. Like, somebody should have filled somebody in there. Like, and
it was originally John. It was John who said that Kenny doesn't know how to make exploding rings for shit.
Right.
And Tony ran with that story. The problem with that is, why did Eddie Kingston die to nothing?
Right, because like if it goes off and nothing happens and Kingston gets up and be like, "That was it,"
right?
Then
like,
you're
call
okay.
For help. But here's the thing too: Eddie's down, head covered. John is down, covered by Eddie.
Right.
Nobody sees what happens. So Eddie thinks that it's an effing explosion.
Well, because I mean, there was like 2 little booms when the smoke went up.
Sure, boom, boom.
So if your ear's against the ring and there's a boom through the metal that's with the ring, it probably sounds pretty loud. But oh yeah, like maybe that's one of those moments where like you swerve a little, and we're gonna try and figure out what happened with this, and we'll make sense of it by Wednesday. Because the post game presser on this one didn't make it come across well at all. Last night, I thought the video with Moxley and Kingston, where they're, talking about like it's embarrassing, Kenny sucks, and like Impact paid for the pyro, like that was great. And then you have Omega yelling 69 me, Don, in the middle of the ring, and I felt like they undid the way the good spin that Moxley and Kingston put on it. I feel like was completely undone by the Callis and Omega state. Like you could have left it at what Kingston and Moxley said, and let's focus on what's next. And they couldn't help themselves, and it reminded us how shitty it was.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, Jim, as someone who says I don't like to shit on AEW, how happy were you when that happened?
Oh, it was the best. It was like Christmas, New Year's, my birthday, like all in one. Like I found a $100 bill, like in the parking lot of the grocery store. Like all of these good moments in my life. Like
the only way it could have been better for you is if like the smoke that billowed out turned into word clouds and said COVID's over.
Yeah, like this was all a game for a year, and like this is the big ending.
You win
for the pandemic. Like this is me finding out that I actually won, and I was like, but yeah, it was a good moment for old Big Jim because it gave me a good laugh, and but because like. The match, and again, I'm not a death match guy. I did not dislike the match. I don't need to see one of those for a while, but the match was fine. The ending was bad. Overall, my grade for the show came out to a C+, and I feel like that's pretty fair. Tim?
This is a C- for me. Like, everything went too long. As I explained on Viewer's Choice, if you didn't watch the pay-per-view from start to finish, but you want to see some really good matches, go and watch each match, even the Matt Hardy and Adam Page match. Like, each match on their own, good, okay to like good, great.
There's nothing
but when
horrible.
You put them all together, the collective does not. A CD with 9 really great songs does not mean that's a great album if it doesn't encapsulate everything. So that's where I was. It was good matches, but not a great pay-per-view.
Matt?
Yeah, I had it as a straight C. I didn't hate the pay-per-view, but it's not one that I will rewatch. It was just average, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm glad I split the cost. If I would have paid for that in full, it would have been a lot worse. Mark?
You're not kidding. If you had to pay in full for that, that's a shame. Yeah, I give it a solid C as well. The last few AEW pay-per-views, there's been some good matches, but overall, they're not as good as I think they've started out as. So I set my expectations low, but not low enough, unfortunately. And I really do like AEW. I enjoy the product, but boy, this was a tough one.
And they're long. And especially in this era where like WWE is giving us 2-hour, 30-minute long pay-per-views, like a 7:00 till midnight show, and I get they only do 4 a year, so it is a little bit different, but man, it certainly did feel long. Recount Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?